I've seen some various articles about the FEMA camps and that kind of thing. I'm not really sure what to make of all that. There's just so much information that flies around on the internet.
Well, $350 million. That was mainstream news. They paid Halliburton $350 million to build detention centers around America, and they've got them up. They refurbished some of the World War II camps, and we've seen, you know, there's nobody in them right now, but they've used old military bases and other facilities to do that.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen a lot of that information, and you know, there's a lot of things of that sort that you know are concerning to Americans. I'm sure. You know, Obama seems to have an agenda all his own, and unfortunately, right now his agenda, and the Department of Justice agenda, seems to be more supportive of illegal immigrants than the safety and welfare of American citizens that live close to the border. You know, they get these reports about the border being more secure than ever and safer than ever. Well, I think those putting these reports out obviously don't live anywhere near the border, because we know that's quite the opposite.
Now, my statistics show, or my information shows, that about 60,000 Americans have been murdered by illegal aliens. 95% of the arrest warrants in LA and Arizona and New Mexico are the arrest warrants for murder are for illegal aliens. 95%.
Yeah, absolutely. In Arizona, for instance, I believe illegal aliens make up 8% of the population, but of the prison population in the Department of Corrections of Arizona, illegal aliens make up about 35% of that population, which basically equates to illegal aliens committing 10 times the crimes of American citizens. If somebody can't see the problem there, they're obviously not looking to their own agenda reasons.
Now, one of our legislators said he talked to Obama, and Obama said he wasn't going to fulfill or enforce the law against illegal immigrants because he wanted to legalize them. He wants to grant amnesty, and if they start closing down the border, we wouldn't support amnesty. Of course, that's Obama immediately responded basically that he never said that. So his word against what was
that was John Kyle.
John Kyle, yes.
Yeah, about a month back. Yeah, and I'm quite sure, just based on his attitude, that that's exactly what he said and what he meant. You know, unfortunately, you know, people, you know, especially at my age, have memory and remember that in 1986, when amnesty was granted, you know, the border was supposed to be secured afterwards. Congress called for 700 miles of fence, and only 200 and something miles of it were actually built. So when they got their amnesty in 1986, the administration never, and any subsequent administrations never fulfilled the promise of completing the fence. And we know that the fence would be an effective deterrent because in the Yuma sector, for instance, where the fence is completed, the amount of traffic was slowed to about 90% of what it was prior to that. And, you know, the fact that, you know, we're still waiting for the, you know, promises of border security from the 1986 amnesty, people, like I said, have memories, and they're not going to fall for that one again. Not the people that I know of that are opposed to any kind of comprehensive immigration reform until the border is secure. They just it would not be fair to initiate another program of that sort without the promises from 1986 being fulfilled first.
I have at different times talked about how many billions of dollars these illegal aliens cost us as Americans. Even if the 35% in prison, we're paying about $50,000 a year to private prisons to keep them.
Yeah, and at this point, the federal government is supposed to reimburse states for housing illegal immigrants in their state prisons, and I think it's been 2 or 3 years now that the federal government's owed the state of Arizona. I believe the figure is close to $2 billion in fees for that, which they are slow in paying, which of course affects our state economy as far as having state monies for programs that benefit Americans, and those programs suffering that are to benefit Americans are suffering because monies are being spent to house illegals and the federal government is not reimbursing. But yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg, though. I mean, you talk about your emergency room visits. Illegals generally don't have health care plans, so anything that they have health problems with, they go to emergency rooms for, and the cost for that in Arizona is astronomical. The burden to the education system, and people say, well, illegals get welfare food stamps. Well, I live, most any part of Tucson is a Hispanic part of Tucson anymore, and I've actually heard several times in stores or this and that where Hispanic women are actually bragging about, if they just keep having children here, and as long as they're having children that they are legal, the children become what they call the anchor babies, and being that they're born here and they're citizens, they can collect welfare food stamps, and by proxy, we are supporting families of the legals, through our social services. And I mean, to combine these costs, gosh, I don't even have a figure. It's astronomical,
Yes, easily in the billions of dollars that we're spending here. Now,
easily, yearly, yeah, absolutely.
It's my prediction here. It's my prediction that we are being purposely set up for a race ride in September. And the reason I say September is that in September, Robert Rodriguez, the director of the film that's shown at the movie theaters now called Predators, he's coming out with a film called Machete in September, and from the previews of that, they're portraying the Mexicans as good Christians, and the white Americans, especially the politicians, which I can't disagree with too much, they're the bad guys. And I think, and then Machete, the guy with all the machetes, he goes out and starts killing Americans. And we've seen signs here up on the internet of these protest rallies where the illegals are threatening to start killing cops, and they have killed cops.
Absolutely.
A number of them, and Sheriff Joe and Sheriff Paul have both been threatened with